There's been a lot of comic book news trickling in the last 24, 48 hours, none of it reaching the level of like the new Batman writer. Obviously that came out, but we've got some new series from DC, Marvel. They're celebrating the 60th anniversary of a character over at Marvel, an Avenger at that. A character from the TMNT animated universe that everyone hates is coming into the comic book universe, so hooray for those guys. We've also got a major series at DC Comics going on hiatus for 5 months. So I'm going to run these down. I don't have huge things to say about them. I have small opinions on these, but these aren't the biggest news items. So we're going to put them in one video. If you don't want to hear all the stories, you want to skip to the ones that you're interested in. There will be chapters for the video, so you can skip to the stuff you're interested in. So let's start out with that 60th anniversary celebration. It is going to be for Ant-Man. Apparently, there will be a new character underneath the mantle of Ant-Man. 2022 marks 60 years since the Ant-Man 1962 debut, and Marvel Comics is celebrating by bringing together the three main heroes who have held the identity for a new 4-issue monthly Ant-Man limited series from writer Al Ewing and artist Tom Riley, along with a new character who may wind up being an all-new Ant-Man entirely. This is what writer Al Ewing had to say. For Ant-Man's anniversary, we wanted to go big with the world's smallest hero, burrowing an ant tunnel right through the 60-year history and far beyond. From the wild and woolly 1960s all the way to the future, you'll have to see to believe. You'll find out how Hank Pym, Scott Lang, and Eric O'Grady impacted each other's lives in ways they never knew themselves. But who's the mysterious final member of the Antastic Four? Tremble with anticipation, true believers. The answers are coming soon to a hill near you. The story will start where it began 60 years ago with Ant-Man #1, flashing back to Hank Pym's early days as Ant-Man as he attempts to enjoy a date with Janet Van Dyne, the Wasp, and their time as a crime-fighting duo on a romantic couple. Ant-Man is a fine character. It's definitely not on my must-buy list, but Al Ewing is a pretty good writer. I don't mind going back and seeing the history of the Ant-Man and giving the character the celebration that he deserves. 60 years is wonderful. Ant-Man has played a major role as a member of the Avengers, and certainly with Hank Pym has had some very memorable moments for good reasons and bad reasons. It is another character taking over a mantle, but we've certainly seen it be successful with this one. Scott Lang, I think, is pretty well up, not like Hank Pym, but it sounds like a fine series, and I imagine a lot of Ant-Man fans will be very excited about this. They put a good writer on it, they put a really good artist, and it should be a nice celebration. DC's The Human Target will take a 5-month break after March's Book 6 and resume publication on September 20 with The Human Target Book 7, so readers will have to wait a little longer for the solution to the mystery. The series title character, Christopher Chance, is getting closer and closer to solving his own murder, but also closer to, well, being dead. That leaves him 6 issues left to figure out the mystery, and in Book 6, Guy, jealous over Chance's burgeoning relationship with Ice, starts to get in the way. Book 7 will be preceded 1 week on September 13th with a hardcover collection of the first 6 issues. This is actually a very good series coming out of DC Comics. The only problem is Tom King can't get in his own way. He keeps throwing these weird little character deconstructions in there. Not the main character. He's doing a fine job on there, but he kind of did some stuff with Guy Gardner I'm not a big fan of. He recently did some stuff with Martian Manhunter I'm definitely not a fan of. But otherwise, the book looks beautiful. The mystery is actually really engaging. It's pretty smart. This is the best Tom King work at DC, in my opinion, since he wrote the Swamp Thing Winter Special. So this is definitely something, if you're not reading, and you can handle Tom King destroying a character just a few pages at a time here and there, it's absolutely worth your time. I wonder if they're taking a hiatus because Tom King was going to destroy some more characters. Maybe they saw my video and said, no more of this. We got to fix the story. That's not what it is. We did see Greg Smallwood on social media said that they're taking a break so we could get caught up with the art and that it will all release on time. That's probably smart business. You wish they would have thought about this ahead of time. They didn't have to take a 5-month hiatus, but it is a good book and certainly worth your time if you like Tom King. This is as good as it gets. Flash and Aquaman are leaving the rest of the Justice League behind for a 2-way team-up this June. 2 classic Justice League members who have rarely worked together directly will team up starting in June as DC brings together Barry Allen and Arthur Curry for a 3-issue limited series titled Aquaman and The Flash, Void Song, which pits the 2 heroes against a bizarre alien invasion. In Void Song, from writers Colin Kelly and Jackson Lanzing and artists Vasco Gorgiev and Rain Barreto, Flash and Aquaman find themselves the only 2 people on Earth who are not affected by the strange attack of an alien species who frees the rest of the Earth's population in place with the power of a musical note that paralyzes all who hear it. According to DC's announcement at ComicPRO 2022, these heroes have little in common. They've rarely even fought side by side without their fellow Justice League members. Aquaman and The Flash Void Song #1 clocks in at a whopping 56 pages and goes on sale June 21st. I'm going to be honest, I like Aquaman and I do like Flash, but this doesn't sound all that interesting. I am a big fan of Vasco Gorgiev. I used to support some of his Kickstarter crowdfunding campaigns for comic books that he was writing and illustrating. He's a good artist. I like supporting him, so I'll probably read this and buy it just to support Vasco, but I'm not a big fan of Colin Kelly and Jackson Lanzig as a writing team. They're not as bad as Clunrad, but they're not that much better. And I just don't think the team up of Flash and Aquaman really is a big selling point. We'll see. Perhaps it's really good. I know they just had the Aquaman Green Arrow book, right? Maybe that's the only thing they're going to do with Aquaman now that they're putting to the wayside as Jackson Hyde takes over as the real Aquaman in the near future. We'll see about that one. Not super excited about this one, but I do like Vasco Gorgiev, and I do want to support his work. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles bring back Venus De Milo, the original female turtle. Modern readers are well aware of Jennika, the female turtle who has been a recurring character in the core TMNT title, as well as in a number of starring limited series. But over 2 decades ago, she was beaten to the T by Venus, who pretty much existed only in The Next Mutation, a show which received tepid reviews from fans and critics alike, lasting only a single 26-episode season. Now IDW is bringing Venus back with a revival in the finale of the current arc of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ongoing series, March 19th, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 127, with a subsequent spotlight in IDW's TMNT Free Comic Book Day release. According to writer Sophie Cable, I'd been trying to make a Venus comeback happen for a while, and I almost can't believe it's finally happening. Well, don't count your chickens before you hatch. You haven't actually made anything happen in TMNT other than driving fans away. I had high hopes for Sophie Campbell's TMNT run, but that is not the case. I just reviewed that comic book in Worst of the Week last week. We had some good fun laughing at it. I'm not surprised that they're bringing this character in, but there is some speculator value on this. This was pretty much the first appearance of Venus De Milo in comic books. Now, the character is hated. No one liked that character. That's one of the main reasons that only got a single season in the animated universe, is because TMNT fans didn't like it, but they're not liking the current TMNT run, and they're still doing that. So IDW apparently has different standards on what it takes to keep up an IDW story going. I do not see Venus De Milo taking off, certainly not in the incapable hands of writer Sophie Campbell. The allegories that she's actually playing with Mutant Town are far too personal, and it has impeded her ability to write anything close to a worthwhile story. It's absolutely putrid, and I do not believe it will get better with TMNT number 127. I think for the most part, only the most hardcore TMNT fans are actually still on there. They're probably not reading it, but they have complete TMNT comic runs, and that's kind of the only reason that they're buying it anymore. But it's awful, and this will only make it worse. Moon Girl meets Spider-Man, the X-Men, the Avengers, and more in a series of team-up stories. Lunella Lafayette, the young hero known as Moon Girl, companion of Devil Dinosaur, and one of the smartest people in the entire Marvel universe, is returning to the spotlight in a new series of one-shots teaming her up with other heroes from the Marvel universe. The whole adventure kicks off with a good old-fashioned Spider-Man team-up in Moon Girl and Miles Morales #1, in which Lunella and Devil Dinosaur will find themselves hanging out alongside the younger Spidey to kick off a grand tour of the Marvel universe. From there, further one-shots will pair Moon Girl with characters including the X-Men, Avengers, and more, and then it all leads to a previously teased new Moon Girl ongoing title, the details of which are still under wraps. Moon Girl and Miles Morales is due out June 1st. I was actually wondering where this Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur title was. It was announced as one of the 6 pillars of 2022 or 2021. I can't remember, but then they just kind of went radio silent on the series. We've literally gotten everything else that they announced. We've gotten Reckoning Wars started, 10 Lives and Deaths of Wolverine. We've already had Timeless. There are a couple others in there. So apparently this is going to be kicking off that new ongoing title. I know Moon Girl means something to Marvel Comics and Marvel Studios. I believe it's going to be, the character is going to be in the MCU somewhat soon on Disney Plus. I could just care less. I've got a couple of boys that I do read my comics with, but Moon Girl's just not going to do it. They like Spider-Man. They do like Captain America, but right now they're all about the dog man, and I think that's a problem for DC and Marvel. And I don't know. I could just care less about Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. It doesn't do anything for me. I've never heard of any of these creators. So if it's your thing, there's going to be a series of one-shots of team-up books starting out with Spider-Man. We're going to have the X-Men and stuff leading up to this new ongoing series. But if you're looking for more information than what I gave you right here, you're probably not going to get it unless it's so awful I have to make Doc read it, just to test his patience. And that will do it, folks. That is the comic book news I was speaking of. We've got the 60th anniversary of Ant-Man. We've got a team up of The Flash and Aquaman. The Human Target is going on hiatus. Venus De Milo is infiltrating the comic book universe, and Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur are going to have a series of one-shot team-up books leading into an ongoing. Like I said, not a whole lot of really big things. Nothing I'm really passionate about here, had some big opinions on. Just a lot of the news that's trickling out of ComicPRO 2022, which is ongoing. Obviously, they're teasing out a lot of the comic titles that are going to be coming out. We got a new Batman writer. That's the big news. As far as the Human Target goes, I did make a video a couple of days ago talking about what Tom King had done to Martian Manhunter in the latest issue of that comic book. And this is a good series, but there are some major flaws. Definitely check this out if you're interested in picking up the Human Target.